I want to quickly talk to you about how to sell plants online this year. And here is a sector that actually has been growing like crazy in the last 5 to 10 years. And around COVID, it really experienced a fantastic uptick. So, into this conversation, I really want to share with you the generalities you need to really think about when you actually are considering actually selling plants online this year. Now, of course, you got to have a strategy. You got to really focus also on the specific types of plants you want to sell. But it's important to understand that you got to really also have a clear idea about your target audience. Okay, so in terms of generalities, I just want to really specify the fact that you have a growing market, you have a dynamic market, you have a lot of players, you have large players, you have small players. So it's pretty interesting. So here is the methodology I want you to think about. First of all, you have to find your niche. Okay, finding your niche is really important. There are more ways to get into the plant selling business than simply shipping houseplants in the mail, right? How you decide to define your own offerings may really depend on the climate where you live. So geography plays an important role. Your access to a wholesale greenery or space to grow. In other words, the logistics and how much you are willing to invest upfront. Because the whole thing is there is money to be made, but also there is also an investment to really consider right off the bat. So let me give you a few ideas to get you started selling plants online this year. You can think about house plants, you can think about outdoor plants, you can think about seeds and bulbs, plant care products, home decor. You can think about terrariums and kits. You can think about plant derived products. That's really big also. You can also think about plant subscriptions, right? The whole thing is you want to really you want to solidify a relationship with your prospects. And what you want to do is you also want to think outside the pot. Why not start a service-based business to actually supply plants for events or corporate clients? I mean, instead of thinking about doing a B2C, think about doing B2B or C2B for that matter, right? So you are basically addressing a different audience. You are, instead of going after an individual audience, you are going over a corporate audience. I mean, there's more money to be made, but there you also have to be a very strategic there. Now, the question is, you got to ask yourself, do you want to grow your own plants or source them? Like, if you want to sell plants online, you got to think about the logistics of where the plants are coming from, right? So, growing your own plants to sell is kind of possible if you have the right space and condition to do so. So, you can have the space, but you got to also have the conditions. And if you are starting small, you can actually grow plants in your own backyard garden, or let's say create a DIY greenhouse. But you have to consider space limitations if you plan to scale. Because listen, if you are supplying, let's say, 1,000 bulbs versus 1 million bulbs, you have a lot of a whole delta. So growing your own plants on a larger scale will require a lot more space and specialized plant skill set. There are plenty of free online resources to teach you the production side of the business. So I want to talk to you first about sourcing plants. So many local greenhouses, nurseries, and plant suppliers offer actually a wholesale program. You got to really look around in your area, look for details on their website, and or you can even inquire directly. There are generally a few requirements to become a registered reseller, including purchase minimums. So you have minimum order quantities, MOQs. So you want to form a relationship with the supplier. You want to shop around, opt for local suppliers if possible. Geography plays an important role when it comes to selling plants online. Understand seasonality, so chronology plays an important role. Don't put all your seeds in one basket. Develop a pricing strategy that really accounts for the fluctuating wholesale dynamics of the sector. You also want to try online retailers. It's all about really canvassing a lot of possibilities. Also, dropship. You can really dropship if you are short on space. Or, so that's if you are sourcing plants. You can also cultivate your own plant brand. Okay, that's totally possible. Now, the thing is that differentiating your business from another website, selling plants rely heavily on brand. And so it's not about the logo. It's about the selling, like the selling process that you want to really engage in. But remember, if you are going to grow your own seeds, you have to think about scalability. You can't really grow past a certain point. It's just not mathematically possible. Okay, so it's one of those things where you can really cultivate your own plant if you are comfortable about let's say growing like minimally and not really growing like crazy. So that's something to really think about. But it's one of those things where, at least at the beginning, you don't have to care about it. You just want to think about whether you want to source plants or cultivate your plant brand. If you want to sell plants online this year, you want to establish trust. It's very important. Think about it. You are shipping live plants. You're not shipping like artificial plants. So your messaging should reflect that you are knowledgeable and have high care for your shipping process and after purchase customer support. Because see, the whole thing is when you are shipping plants, when you are shipping, I want to insist on that. When you are shipping live plants, it's like you're shipping food, right? It's something living. It's something that's dynamic. And so you have to really be careful there. Use education as part of your brand and content strategy to actually foster trust. Okay, that's important because the bottom line is you want to stand apart. You want to really establish a relationship with your audience, and your audience is going to look at you if they see that you are really an authority, if you will, a thought leader in your space. So establish trust. The fourth thing I want you to do if you want to sell plants online this year is to think about the pricing model, the pricing strategy that you have to really think about. You can follow standard pricing models for pricing most goods for online sales. So to find, let's say, to find a retail price for your plants or plant accessories, you want to add up your variable cost per product. So I'm speaking here about cost of goods sold, packaging, shipping, or what have you. Okay, and you want to add a profit margin. So it's all about when I speak about profit margin, is it 20%, 10%, 15%, 30%? You want to consider the overall market. You want to consider the supply and demand and how much the other players are charging. And don't forget about fixed cost, right? Overhead expenses like rent. And even if you are actually doing everything from your house, you still have a fixed cost like utilities, water, electricity, all that kind of stuff. You are paying mortgage. Okay, you are paying a mortgage, so this is, or you are maybe renting, so that's part of your fixed costs. And also, when I'm speaking about fixed costs, of course, you have to think about seasonality. Seasonality will affect your pricing anyway. Also, the market prices, but also most importantly, the customer preferences. I mean, customers are they change all the time, so you have to really account for their sensitivities. You also have to think about labor costs. So I'm still having a conversation with you about how to price plants when you are selling stuff online. So labor cost is important. Even if you're not paying staff to help grow and care for plants, your own effort, should factor into the overall cost because you're not working for free, right? This is a business. So also think about inventory and plant care. So plant care is important. I mean, I said to you a little earlier that you are shipping live stuff, right? Live plants, live material. So you have to be really care about the material a lot. So generally, you will need enough climate controlled space to adequately care for your plant inventory before it ships. Sorry about that. It ships to your customers, right? So this is important. Now you can do it yourself, or you can just hire staff to actually do it for you. So it's really important to understand that for your plant-based business, managing your inventory is kind of critical. Okay, and so question is, are you going to change your offerings based on greenhouse supply or based on the seasonality? Will you run pre-sales for upcoming varieties? Should you build in a buffer in case some of your inventory is damaged or dies? Stuff happens. You are dealing with live stuff. Okay, so if you go away for several days, what is your plan for plant care? Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire somebody to do it for you, or are you going to rely on third-party sort of automation? So automation here, I'm speaking about automated irrigation systems and timed grow lights that can bridge the gap if you don't have staff staff coverage. So those are stuff to really think about. But see, everything I'm telling you here costs money, right? You have an element of cash to think about, cash inflows and cash outflows. But the most important thing also is that you have to really ask yourself, how are the players in the industry doing it? What kind of strategies are they using? What's the overall trend when it comes to plant care? What's the overall trend when it comes to selling plants online this year? Those things, those benchmarking ideas should really help you make the right decision. If you want to sell plants online this year successfully and you want to monetize the whole operation, you got to really think about taking the best photos for your plants. Okay, photography for online plant businesses is really quite essential. I mean, see, the thing is that your customers, your prospects, have no idea what you're selling. They have no idea what kind of offer you have, right? So you have to think about having either photography or videography to really engage with your audience. So you want to invest time and care into photography, into videography. You can either hire a professional or DIY. You can DIY your photography and videography needs. Either way, you want to follow the basic principles of product photography / videography that exist across all product categories, not just live plants. So let me give you a few tips for photography. If you want to, let's say, sell plants online, your product page should feature a variety of shots to help your customer actually see the product from all angles. It's all about really opening a window of transparency into the plants, right? You want to include close-up detailed shots that illustrate texture. Texture is important if you want to convey a certain allure to your plants. And you want to show your products in a scene, also called a lifestyle shot, that provides inspiration to your customer for styling or placing the item in their own space, right? There are also great photos to use on your homepage, as well as on social media. Now remember, I'm speaking here about photos, but you can also think about videos. It's all about really diversifying the array of live material that you have. Consider getting actually your product shot in 3D so customers can use AR technology to place the item in a room. So this is important. Your smartphone is perfectly capable of capturing great behind the scenes shots, plant care tutorial videos, and other images for use on social media. And for greenery, you want to actually shoot it in the most natural light possible so your customers have realistic expectations for the plant you're selling, right? It's all about setting the expectations properly right off the bat. If you want to really sell plants online this year, you have to really think about having an online store. I mean, you can't really. I mean, you can sell it. You can sell it on marketplaces. That's for sure. Or like marketplaces like Amazon or eBay or Etsy. That's one option. But if you want to have more control over the whole process, it's just better to have your own online store. And so when I speak about online store, you got to really think about e-commerce platforms. Got to think about Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento. You got to think about like Big Cartel. You have to think about those platforms. For Shopify, for instance, because Shopify is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, right now, you have themes. So you have Shopify themes for plant sellers. So that's kind of cool because you are able to just have a theme and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. See, the whole thing is you're not trying to really reinvent the wheel. You're just trying to really take the wheel as it is and just, work with it. Okay. And so as you grow, you can continue to customize your online store. But the cool thing is when you start, it's just a lot better to take something that has been researched upon already, something that really works already, and just try to really adapt it to your store. So you can take a Shopify theme, a BigCommerce theme, a WooCommerce theme, a Big Cartel theme, a Magento theme, and adapt the theme to your logo, adapt the theme to your brand, adapt the theme to the kinds of plants you are selling, and actually just get things done a lot faster. Okay, and that's kind of cool. And the cool thing is that when you actually use a theme that's already on the platform that you choose, you are able to have responsive design, let's say embedded right away. Like you don't have to really like adapt your theme now to from mobile to a smartphone to online to a desktop to a laptop. No, the native the responsive design is already built in. Okay, that's kind of cool because what you want to do is you want to customize your site so that your customers can really appreciate the interaction you're trying to have with them, right? And because the bottom line is you want to really make sure that when your customers, when your prospects, quote unquote, discover you, discover your plants that you're selling, they are going to stay there and they're not going anywhere anymore. So that's really fantastic. So you have a lot of apps for selling plants online. So that's really cool. You also have a product plant, you have a product pages for plants. So if you are going to sell plants online this year, of course you have to think about the themes that you need to have. You need to think about the apps that you need to have. So themes for selling plants online, apps for selling plants online. You also have to think about the product pages for plants. So your product pages should include standard information like plant species, description, and size, along with clear photos, but also videos if possible. Consider also using this space for education. So what you want to do is you want to ensure that your customers are equipped to care for their new plants like permanently. It's all about showing your thought leadership here. It's all about sharing with your customers your skill set. So aftercare customer service is important when it comes to plants, because again, we are speaking about something living, a living thing, right? So this is important. So the product pages is a perfect place for you to include plant education. You can also think about, so besides marketplaces, for instance, online stuff, because besides online platforms such as e-commerce platforms and marketplaces, you can think about alternate sales channels such as having a booth at a weekend farmers market or arts markets. You can run a pop-up event. You can even partner with an established retail business to sell plants from their space. It's all about making sure that there is a win-win though. There has to be a win-win for both you and the third party. You can also think about if you grow your own plants or work from a dedicated facility, you can offer limited hours for customers to browse your inventory in person. That's kind of cool. And you can do this on a monthly basis, on a bi-monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. The next thing you want to do here is you want to think about marketing on social media for selling plants. So if you want to sell plants online this year, you have to think about the marketing aspect of things, because otherwise nobody will know you, okay? And so with the rise in searches for plant content online, there are so many opportunities to grow your audience with the right mix of, let's say, search optimization, social media, and content marketing paired with a unique and cohesive brand. You can also think about content and social marketing. So having a clear strategy on how you are going to, let's say, engage with your followers on Facebook, on Twitter, now called X, on Instagram, on Pinterest, and what have you. So that's really important. So in closure to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to sell plants online. I gave you the generalities, the methodology, and now I'm really talking about that closure. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.